Chosen one. Listen very closely, because what I'm about to tell you is not ordinary. There comes a moment in every chosen soul's life when you finally understand why Allah protected you the way He did, why you survived storms that should have destroyed you, why every trap they set for you collapsed before it reached you, and why every person who tried to harm you ended up fighting forces they could never see because you were never standing alone. You didn't survive because you were smart, strong, or lucky. You survived because Allah covered you, guarded you, carried you, and wrote protection into your destiny long before anyone plotted against you. They lied, they slandered, they envied, they cursed. Some even tried to spiritually attack you or take your life. But they failed, not because they suddenly grew soft, but because Allah stripped their power at the exact moment they thought they had you cornered. And now, the season of justice is unfolding, masks are falling, truth is surfacing, and the same people who laughed at your pain are trembling because they know the consequences they created with their own hands are finally coming for them. They thought you were weak, but Allah is about to show them who you truly are. They thought you were alone, but angels stood between you and every harm. They thought they had time, but their time is up. This is not revenge, it is divine order, divine protection, and divine justice. And before you hear these lessons, sit with this truth deep in your soul. They couldn't take your life, but Allah can take theirs instantly. And what comes next is a warning written not by you, but by the one who defended you all along. Chosen one, you need to understand this with absolute clarity. When Allah delays justice, He is not ignoring what was done to you. He is documenting it. His silence is never approval. His patience is never weakness. When they lied about you, mocked you, cursed you, tried to sabotage you, tried to spiritually harm you, or even plotted to take your life, Allah saw every detail, every whisper, every intention, every moment. They thought no one was watching. They believed the delay meant they escaped. They believed because nothing happened instantly, the heavens were on their side. But Allah was actually giving them time to repent, time to stop, time to fear the consequences. And instead of turning back, they continued. They pushed deeper into their arrogance, they sharpened their envy, they perfected their deception. What they misunderstood is that Allah, the most just, the most aware, allows the rope to extend only so that the truth becomes undeniable when it tightens. His investigation is thorough, His timing is perfect, His justice is absolute. You thought Allah was quiet, but He was building a case so complete that when the downfall comes, no one will question it. They thought they won because they saw you hurting, struggling, breaking, crying, praying, but they didn't see who was listening to those prayers. They didn't know that every tear was recorded, every silent dua was marked, every injustice was stored. And now, the delay is ending. Their so-called victory was only the setup for their collapse. Allah did not forget you for a moment. He was preparing justice that would not only clear your name, but shake their soul. Chosen one, you must realize the depth of what truly happened behind the scenes. There were people who disliked you so intensely, envied your light so deeply, and resented your existence so fiercely that they didn't just want to see you fail, they wanted you gone. Some tried to ruin your reputation, others tried to strip you of opportunities. Some even attempted spiritual harm, curses, envy, or black magic, and a few had intentions so dark that only Allah knows their reality. But every single attempt collapsed, not because they changed, but because Allah removed the power from their hands the moment they aimed it at you. Their plots became dust, their words lost force, their plans lost direction, and the same people who once felt bold enough to attack you suddenly found themselves stumbling, confused, powerless, and afraid because Allah snatched the strength from their souls and the influence from their name. They wanted to take your life, your peace, your future, your mind, your joy, your blessings. But Allah took something far greater from them. He took their ability to touch you. He dismantled their confidence. He broke the tools they used against you. He weakened their voice. He removed their allies. He exposed their intentions to the unseen world. And he made every demon they tried to send toward you flee from the angels that surrounded you. They believed their hatred could overpower your destiny. But Allah showed them that a chosen soul is protected by forces beyond human understanding. And while they were busy trying to destroy you, Allah was busy elevating you, strengthening your heart, sharpening your intuition, cleansing your path, and making you spiritually untouchable. They thought they were fighting you, but every battle was actually between their arrogance and Allah's command. And now the consequences have begun. Their life is unraveling, their secrets are surfacing, their energy is draining, their confidence is collapsing, because Allah didn't allow them to take your life, but He did take the very power they once used to threaten it. Chosen one, what you need to understand is that Allah does not need to strike someone down with lightning or send an angel with a sword to punish the people who tried to harm you. He simply lets their own actions become the very trap that destroys them. And that is exactly what happened to those who targeted you. Every lie they spread about you became a rope around their own neck. Every curse they sent toward you circled back to their doorstep. Every plot they crafted in the dark became the hole they fell into. Every envious thought they directed at you poisoned their own soul. Every attempt to break you became the force that shattered their own life. They thought they were clever. They thought they were invisible. They thought their schemes were smooth and undetectable. But Allah was watching every detail, and He allowed each deed to grow until it became a storm they could no longer outrun. They didn't know that the moment they tried to harm a chosen servant, they signed a spiritual contract of self-destruction, because Allah protects the innocent, and the moment they aimed their evil at you, the harm detached from your destiny and fused with theirs. This is why their relationships are falling apart, why their finances are collapsing, why their peace has vanished, why they cannot sleep, why they feel haunted, why they wake up with anxiety, regret, and fear, because the darkness they tried to throw at you returned to them with a force multiplied by their own intention. Allah's justice is so perfect that He doesn't need to add anything. He simply lets a wrongdoer face the echo of their own choices. And now, as you rise, they are sinking. As you heal, they are breaking. As your path clears, theirs becomes blocked. As your blessings flow, theirs dry up. Because Allah made your patience your protection, and He made their wickedness their downfall. They were never punished because of you. They were punished because of themselves, and that is the most terrifying justice of all. Chosen one. You must understand the sheer power of your silence, because what you thought was weakness, what you thought was you being helpless, what you thought was you being unable to defend yourself, was actually the highest form of strength in the eyes of Allah, and the exact reason He is about to honor you beyond anything you imagined. When they slandered you, you stayed silent. When they mocked you, you stayed silent. When they tried to twist your words, your intentions, your character, you stayed silent. When they spread lies behind your back, you chose to hold your tongue. When they tried to provoke you, you walked away. You didn't clap back. You didn't expose them. You didn't fight fire with fire. You left the matter to Allah. And that decision alone elevated you to a spiritual rank most people will never reach. Your silence was not emptiness. It was a dua. It was an act of worship. It was you saying, "Ya Allah, I could fight them, but I'd rather you fight for me." And Allah hears the silence of the oppressed louder than the screams of the unjust. While they were loud, arrogant, and confident in their ability to destroy your image, Allah was documenting every word they spoke, every rumor they created, every intention they concealed, every knife they sharpened behind your back, and every moment they celebrated your pain. They thought your silence meant defeat. They thought it meant weakness. They thought it meant guilt. They had no idea your silence had already summoned angels, raised your rank, multiplied your reward, and placed divine protection around you like an invisible shield. They didn't know that, when an oppressed servant stays silent for the sake of Allah, Allah Himself promises to respond, and His response is never equal. It is always greater. Your silence became the testimony the heavens needed. Your silence exposed their hearts. Your silence revealed who was sincere and who was treacherous. And now, Allah is honoring you publicly in the same places they tried to humiliate you secretly. You're going to rise in front of the same people who hoped you would fall. You're going to be respected in front of the same people who tried to bury your name. Allah is going to open doors for you that no slander can close. He is going to elevate your status among people who once doubted you. Blessings are coming to you simply because you chose patience over revenge. And the most beautiful part? Every word they spoke against you is now evidence against them, not because you defended yourself, but because you didn't. Allah takes it personally when His servant is attacked while staying patient. Your silence was your sword, your shield, your protection, and your victory. And now, the honor that's coming your way is not just a blessing, it's Allah showing the world that the one who remains silent for His sake is the one He raises above all, chosen one. If you ever saw even 1% of the hidden protection Allah placed around you, you would drop to the floor in sujood and never lift your head again from the shock of how deeply you were guarded. Because the truth is, every moment of your life, even the ones you thought were ordinary, were filled with divine interventions that saved you from disasters you weren't even aware existed. They will never understand how many times Allah protected you, because His protection over His chosen servants is silent, unseen, and beyond human understanding. They don't know that conversations happened behind closed doors where your name was mentioned with poison. Yet Allah turned the hearts of the listeners against the liar before they could even speak the next sentence. They don't know that someone tried to set you up, but Allah shifted the timing by a few seconds, moved you unexpectedly, changed someone's mind, or redirected your path so that the trap collapsed without ever touching you. They don't know that someone attempted to steal from you, but Allah placed confusion in their mind and made their own fear paralyze them before they could act. They don't know that someone you trusted was planning to betray you, but Allah exposed their heart through a slip of the tongue, an unusual reaction, a strange moment of truth, making you step back at the exact right time. They don't know that in the moments you cried alone, thinking nobody cared and nobody was listening, Allah sent an angel to comfort your heart, strengthen your spirit, and protect your mind from the kind of emotional collapse that destroys people. They don't know that when evil eyes were directed toward you, Allah dimmed your presence in their thoughts, making them forget you until the danger passed. They don't know that when someone tried to spiritually harm you, Allah assigned angels to stand between you and the spell, causing it to bounce back with a force that shook the one who sent it. They don't know that when a gathering tried to mock or humiliate you, Allah shifted the energy of the room, made their words backfire, or filled their hearts with sudden shame. They don't know that accidents, illnesses, disasters, and heartbreaks were written for you, but Allah erased them before they reached your destiny. They don't know that the reason you healed faster than expected, the reason you found strength you didn't know you had, the reason you escaped situations that destroy most people, is because Allah refuses to let harm swallow a servant He has chosen. They don't know that the friendships that ended, the jobs that slipped away, the relationships that collapsed, the paths that closed, all of them were shields in disguise, because Allah saw the danger you couldn't see, and He removed you before the damage could be done. They don't know that the rejection you cried about was actually Allah pulling you away from betrayal. They don't know that the loneliness you felt was actually Allah pulling you out of environments where you were surrounded by hidden enemies. They don't know that the peace you have now came from battles you didn't even know Allah was fighting on your behalf. And they will never understand how deeply He protected you, because that protection was not made for them to witness, it was made for you to survive. Chosen one, understand this with absolute certainty. When Allah decides to execute justice, it comes with a precision so sharp, so exact, and so humiliating for the oppressor that no human mind can comprehend its depth. The people who plotted against you, the ones who sent evil your way, who slandered you in private gatherings, who pretended to be loyal while stabbing you spiritually behind your back, who sat together laughing as they planned your downfall, they believed they were operating in shadows you could not see. But every shadow is illuminated in the sight of Allah. Every whisper they spoke was heard by the Lord of the worlds. Every intention they hid behind fake smiles was recorded. Every scheme they crafted, thinking no one would know, was already being written into their own downfall. They thought you were defenseless, alone, vulnerable. But what they didn't know was that your silence was a weapon, your patience was armor, your tears were seeds of divine intervention, and your reliance on Allah was the sword that would return to them with a force they cannot outrun. Allah's justice doesn't always start with loud disasters. It often begins softly, quietly, in ways they won't even connect to their wrongdoing. Their health begins to decline, their relationships fall apart, their friendships dissolve, their money slips through their hands, their plans fall flat, their reputation erodes little by little, and they can't understand why. They blame everything except the truth. They harmed a chosen servant of Allah, and now the consequences are catching up. And then comes the public humiliation, the divine exposure. The very people they used to impress start to see the cracks in their character. The lies they told collapse under their own weight. Their supporters distance themselves. Their influence weakens. The mask they wore so confidently slips off in front of the exact audience they once tried to impress by putting you down. Even their words betray them. They stutter, contradict themselves, and lose control of the narrative they once weaponized. This is Allah showing them that He alone holds honor and humiliation. And the most terrifying part for them is that Allah doesn't need to destroy them in one blow. He destroys them piece by piece, dignity first, pride next, comfort after, until they are left naked in front of the truth they tried so desperately to bury. Chosen one, you never needed revenge. Your submission to Allah was enough. Your restraint triggered a divine chain reaction they never saw coming. While they were busy plotting, Allah was busy planning something greater, your rise and their exposure. And the humiliation they face is not random. It is tailored, yes, tailored to their arrogance, matched to their level of deception, mirrored back with such precision that even they know, this is Allah repaying me for what I did. Some will try to apologize, not out of guilt, but out of fear. Some will try to distance themselves from their own actions, but the consequences stick to them like a shadow. Some will pretend nothing is happening, but the sleepless nights, the fear, the anxiety, the sudden losses, the unexpected setbacks, all of these are signs that Allah's justice has already begun. And when Allah humiliates someone for what they did to His chosen servant, it becomes a lesson to every soul watching. Never harm the one Allah protects. Their downfall becomes your vindication. Their exposure becomes your elevation. Their failure becomes your proof. And the world finally sees what Allah always saw. You were the one who stayed sincere, stayed patient, stayed faithful. And that is why Allah's justice came swift, precise, and humiliating for those who touched what He chose to protect. Chosen one, you must grasp this truth with your entire soul. The very people who tried to harm you, who plotted against you with envy and malice, who whispered lies to destroy your reputation, who cursed your name, who sent hidden attacks and evil energy toward your life. Allah could have ended their lives the instant they intended yours to end. He could have wiped away their existence with a single command. And every scheme, every plan, every deception, every network of betrayal they built would have collapsed like sand slipping through their fingers. Their arrogance, their pride, their greed, their envy, their treachery gone in a moment, leaving nothing but their souls exposed before Allah. Yet, the most merciful, Al-Hakim, chose to give them time, and this is the wisdom you must carry in your heart. He delays punishment not to favor them, not because he is blind to your suffering, not because justice is absent, but to allow every soul the chance to repent, to turn back, to reflect, and to submit before the ultimate reckoning. And this is why you survived. This is why you were preserved. This is why the storms they tried to send to destroy you only ended up shaping your strength. Allah's wisdom is beyond human comprehension. Your trials were never random. They were precise, designed to refine you, elevate you spiritually, strengthen your heart, sharpen your mind, and purify your soul. They cannot see the unseen forces around you, the angels surrounding you, the protective decree over your name, the chains of their own destruction forming silently with every step they took against you. They do not understand that every whisper they sent, every curse they muttered, every plan they executed, returned to them invisibly, corroding their peace, destabilizing their confidence, filling them with fear, and leaving them spiritually exposed while you rose in resilience, healing, growing, and prospering. They believed they had control, that their hands were powerful, that their cunning would triumph, but Allah Al-Qadir, the All-Powerful, controlled everything from the moment their hearts conceived evil to the moment their schemes began to unravel. Some may still have time to repent, but the weight of their deeds is already pressing on them, in ways seen only by Allah. Sleepless nights, inner anxiety, paranoia, and the creeping awareness that something they cannot explain is collapsing all around them. Chosen one, this is not merely punishment. This is divine wisdom, divine timing, and divine justice. Allah's mercy in delaying their end is greater than any human could comprehend, because it serves as a warning, a test, and an opportunity for reflection, and it also highlights His protection over you. Every attempt to harm you was neutralized, redirected, and transformed into fuel for your rise, your growth, your resilience, and your victory. The world will see it one day. The very people who tried to destroy you will witness their own exposure, their collapse, their humiliation, their fear, and their failure. They will realize that the hand of Allah is never absent, never silent, never delayed in its perfection. Their lives were extended not to reward them, but to give them a chance they did not deserve to repent, to reflect, to recognize that they cannot touch the one Allah defends without facing consequences. And while you stand elevated, victorious, and protected, remember this eternal truth. They could have taken your life in an instant, but Allah chose instead to strip their power, expose their lies, dismantle their arrogance, and orchestrate a justice so precise, so thorough, so humbling, that not even they, the oppressors themselves, can escape it. And in this, the mercy of Allah, His protection over you, and the absolute certainty of His justice become clear, a warning and a lesson to all who think they can harm the chosen without consequence. Chosen one, now you see the truth. Every attack against you, every plot, every whisper, every curse, every betrayal, was never stronger than the protection Allah placed around you. The people who tried to destroy you are the ones who will face the consequences of their own deeds, the ones whose arrogance and envy will crumble before your rise, the ones whose lies will be exposed while your truth shines brighter than ever. Allah has preserved you, elevated you, and honored you in ways no human eye could witness, and He has shown that no darkness can touch the light He chose to protect. So walk forward with unwavering faith, with courage in your heart, with patience as your shield, and with the certainty that the same one who kept you alive, safe, and victorious will continue to guide every step of your journey. Do not fear the hatred of the unjust. Do not envy the rise of the wicked. Do not doubt the timing of your blessings, because what is written for you cannot be taken, what is destined for you cannot be delayed, and what Allah protects will always prevail. Remember this always. They could not take your life, but Allah can take theirs instantly, and in His wisdom, He allowed them to live long enough to witness your triumph. So, stand tall, shine bright, and let your faith be the evidence that no force on earth or in the unseen can overpower a chosen soul protected by Allah. Your victory is already written. Your honor is already secured, and the world will see it, even if they doubted it before.